What is up, everyone? This will be my Naafiri jungle video, and Naafiri just got reworked, and I have to say she's one of the best junglers after the changes. She's super good now. Her W and R changes have felt pretty OP, and the build I'm about to show you is going to make you dominate with her. So for starters, rune setup, there's two pages you can go. You can go like Conqueror setup, or you can go Electrocute Dark Harvest setup. Both are pretty good. Conqueror is just the more generic one, so I'm going to show you that. For builds, you can either go more bruiser-ish or more straight damage. Right now, I think Hubris is super broken on her. So you want to go Hubris into, Eclipse sort of build path. It's really strong right now. So if you're against like a squishy comp, then you can easily go into that kind of build. So with her, you start Q level 1, start auto-attacking, and make sure you Q right away. The second Q is really important. You want to play for a full clear early game. You have a lot of options. You can start blue or red, and just make sure you play for that. Here you want to kind of smite a bit early because the second Q does missing health damage, so you're just going to get a bit bonus. I like to start E level 2 and then just move an E over the wall. So changes on her is her E, the second part does a lot of the damage, so you want to make sure you think about that. And also, you see how I'm kind of moving a bit. I always try to hit my Q, line it up so I can hit multiple targets. It's just very nice if you can kind of get that going. Here you can auto them down to save your Q cooldown, or you can just kind of Q early. It's up to you. Playing against a Kai'Sa jungle, I guess they've seen my video that's already spreading. Here I like to make sure I angle it to make sure I hit my Q on the big one and multiple targets. Your Q can hit anyone. You want to hit two parts of it. The second part's going to heal you, so that's what you're kind of seeing healing you in the jungle a lot. You always kind of want to be moving between camps so you can kind of let your wolves tank. Your wolves will always, or your dogs will always attack for around 2 seconds. So here you want to start with your W. Your W makes you untargetable. It summons a couple pack mates, gives you movement speed, and also gives you extra AD. Yes, a lot packed into one ability. You're going to use it when you're farming. A lot of times you want to use it early on when you're on the jungle camp. So pretty much if your Q is up, it's going to give you a bit more damage, so you want to kind of utilize that. But I think she's really broken right now. I think her damage is just insane. And I'm going to show you guys how to utilize a full damage build on her. Or if you want to go Bruiser, the two builds. Remember, Eclipse Cleaver is just a very straightforward, against a very tanky comp. You want to be doing that. Otherwise, you want to go into the Hubris into, honestly, a very damage-oriented build. And you're going to do really well if you do that. Here you see your wolves. They always will attack for a few seconds after you leave. In this situation, the enemy balling is fighting pretty hard. What I'm going to do is actually just kind of run here, see what's going on. Maybe a Mumu goes in. Mumu doesn't go in. We're kind of waiting around a bit. Looks like he does go in. I think he will die here. If he doesn't die, you can actually just go around and just Q him here. Remember, our W makes us untargetable, so you can actually dodge shots from that ability. He fights me, I'm pretty much okay with fighting. So untargetable is really important. So this ability, it's going to give you movement speed and it gives you more damage. So you do want to use it initially when you're going for ganks. But also, it's going to give you untargetability. So it's sort of your survivability in a way too. So you always want to think about that. Here, I'm just going to ward and base and go to my top side. I'm pretty happy with that. Early game buy, so I like to go into Warhammer or Dirk. If I have enough for the Dirk, I'm just going to buy it. And obviously the enemy team is really squishy, so you probably want to go into the Hubris buy. Hubris is just really good on her because she has so much bonus AD scaling. And if you actually, build Hubris, you're going to scale and do so much damage. It does feel better with, Electrocute or Dark Harvest, but honestly both are fine. So here I like to W early as I get to camp, hit the Q. Make sure you hit the Q and the wolves will kind of do the rest of the thing. The W lasts for 5 seconds, so you want to kind of use it as you're just about to get to the camp. Just make sure you want to use it and then sort of hit the thing with the Q just as you press W. It's pretty much your only ganking ability. What you're going to notice with her is you have literally no CC, right? So here I'm going to W. The Raptors like to try to reset a lot, so watch out with your W on it. Sometimes W early on it. But yeah, you have no CC. So if you want to do ganks and stuff, you got to really think about, Ahri, having crowd control from your team. So here's a very simple gank. How are we going to play? We're going to start with our Q, auto attack, do our wolf summon because we want more damage, and then just auto them down, right? It's a very straightforward thing. If you're not, your W is going to use, it's kind of like a steroid boost. It's more of your damage buff. Here's Kai'Sa. If she's full clearance, she should end up around this area. So I just want to kind of see what's going on with her right now. She could also be ganking bot. but I do have smite for these camps, so I'm very strong. I'm quite confident that I'll be stronger than, you know, potential Kai'Sa, but a Quinn is a problem, so I have to watch out for a Quinn. So here I'm going to actually just wait a bit to see if Kai'Sa walks up this way, but we see Quinn is actually on me. So what I actually do have to leave. Remember, we can W. So what I did right there, I W'd the Quinn for ability, right? So untargetability means you're going to dodge a lot of these skill shots, which I was just able to do right there. Kai'Sa W, you can see exactly that she's here. She may be on the Gromp. I would love to kill her on Gromp, but also we have this situation of Quinn is a roamer. Quinn will move, and Quinn will be a problem. Your ability to do stuff like the Void Grubs are extremely fast. Kai'Sa's on Gromp. I'm not really worried about her. I think she's quite weak, you know, in this situation, as long as I have, you know, people coming around me. So here I can kind of Q her and then go on her. Issue is Ahri, right? But the thing is, I have my E. W dodges that. Honestly, don't have to jump out. We're able to get that. So I'm going to Q here. Q will here. So I'm just going to flash out afterwards. And finish it off with my boy. So the W, really important. W will make you untargetable, as you can see. And hitting the Q, if you hit 2 Qs, it's going to heal you. So you can always play around that. I might be on the hunt, but if I just get this, I get my ultimate. Your ultimate is honestly the best ability. It's just such a fun ability to have on her now. Yeah, it's going to be really spicy, the games, though. You really want to play... You know, you're going to be playing around a lot of spice, right? So you have to... Your early game's extremely strong, so you do want to play around that. I'm going to go into this and boots. Another option is to go like free boots, which are perfectly okay. You can easily go free boots as well. Sometimes early, when your W cooldown goes down a bit, you can W right at the beginning when you're basing. It should be up by the time you get back. So W when you're leaving base should be fine. And it just gives you that movement speed. So here we're going to start the camp. And remember, you have 2 parts of the Q. It's really important when you're fighting to hit the second part. When you're farming, just use both Qs as long as you line it up to hit multiple targets. You do, because the Q cooldown doesn't start until you throw the second one, right? So make sure you're going to use both those components. And there's 2 kind of playstyles to her. You can either, you know, W beforehand and go, when you go in, you'll have, you know, a lot of damage, or you can W, like save your W when you want to go in. And then you can have a bit of survivability, because once you press this ability, it's actually really hard for people to like hit spells, like the Ahri charm missing. Those abilities, you know, it's really important for you to play around that. So what I know is Ahri, you know, she just ultied not that long ago. So I like to do is, you know, kind of capitalize on that and just play to kill these sort of these champions. So should be easy to kill as long as we have 1 card. So all I need is a Sun card on her. So what we want to do is just start with the ulti here. Q, W, and hit the wolves. But I think I might not have enough damage there. Damn, her ulti just came back up. Ideally, though, if you can hit the second Q, it's pretty much a kill. But her ulti cooldown is not as long as I was hoping. And when you're going to the camps, just make sure you W, you hit the Q, your wolves will all jump in, and then you hit the second Q. She's really simple. Like your kit, your playstyle, it's all really going to be very straightforward. But sometimes your wolves can just easily finish off camps. You can always release it early. But you really rely on just being able to go in. And if you can't go in and just one-shot sort of people, you're going to struggle a lot. Your damage is really crazy. But you have to hit like your Qs, right? Now, a way to combo is you can actually like use your Q sort of in the ulti animation right as you're about to hit them with the ulti. You can actually get a Q off right as you're going in, which is really nice. Ulti is really short cooldown. You're going to be able to use it a lot, which is really nice. So here they're on dragon. So what we're going to do is kind of play around this Kai'Sa. Hit our dogs, Q. You can see the missing health damage will always do insane values. This guy's just... I feel like I've inspired too many people to play Kai'Sa jungle. I gotta put out another video to make it look better. And here, I mean, I just want to finish the camp. I gotta get out after this. Smite does 900. And yeah, adios. See you later. Remember, our ulti is huge, right? I could easily kill her if her ulti's down. But it looks like a bot site fight will happen. So here, this is a situation where if I think I'm going to be really, I'm going to win the fight really well. Or I guess this Tristana is just going to win it really well. Boom. If you think you're going to win the fight really well, you just want to start the W early. Because when you start the W and then you are in, the damage is going to be amplified with your damage on your arm. So I do find her to be that sort of playstyle. So here, this is where... Okay, so this is where second item can be very... Honestly, I've been thinking more as playing her that maybe even just building Grudge second might be the best item. So I think you just want to go into like a Grudge second for maximum damage. And then your third item will generally just be like an Edge of Night. And you go into like an Edge of Night sort of build path. Edge of Night, Death Stance, kind of like Maul. This is what I find to be like, the go-to. After trying the Bruiser build a lot, I don't know. You can easily run Electrocute with this page too. I'd recommend, honestly. Probably going to Electrocute into squishy comps. I just wanted to show you more of the standard page in case you don't feel comfortable with it. I would say Conquer is never bad just because it gives you really... The rune setup is really nice. But yes, like I honestly... The buff to Grudges... The Grudge got buffed recently and I think it's really good for her. So here at Kai'Sa's farming, we can easily kind of, walk up and kill her if she's here. So what we're going to do is start with our W in this situation, R, and just a reset. So if you get a kill, your ulti resets, so you have a lot of time to cast your second E. So sometimes you can just swing by and just kind of make a play here with our second ulti. And just have a good time, right? So the reset will always be there. You have around, 7 seconds-ish to make that play happen. And then you're pretty much Gucci. You're good to go. So I definitely recommend her. I think she'll have... Like, Hubris is so broken, especially in lower ranks too. You're going to get so many kills, especially free stuff. I just want to make sure Quinn's not coming here. I can kill them, but I don't know if I can kill them with a Quinn 2 here. You do rely heavily with your ultimate. Like, if you want to make ganks happen, you just have to have your ulti. They're going to come to me, so I'm just going to auto Q. Make sure I get the red. And yeah, you rely heavily on that. For boots, CDR boots seems to be quite strong on her, but Merkrez also, if you're against like a heavy CC comp. Like this enemy comp could be really hard for me to go, survive. So sometimes the Merkrez can be very, very important. This situation, I'll probably just go into the Warhammer Titan, and Merkrez with like a sword. And I just think Grudge is really good on her. I think survivability, you can also go Eclipse second if you want more survivability, if you might feel like you're too squishy. Eclipse, obviously super strong too. Even Cleaver, like these are your three items. You either go Grudge, Eclipse or Cleaver. And then you really need the Edge of Night. I found early games to be really good for her, but then, my mid-game team fighting was really hard because Edge of Night, not having it, our damage always felt like we were running into these sort of issues with our damage. So you do want to itemize properly. And once you get enough ability haste, your W cooldown goes down a lot, right? So you're going to be maxing Q though, and you're going to be maxing E second. Your W is just kind of like a 1-point ability for a while. Eventually, though, when you're going to have it maxed out, it's going to be a really short cooldown. We're all about sort of waiting and eventually going in with your ultimate. You have to get the kill, but your damage is so high that's honestly not that hard to get the kill. So you're going to be in like really nice, easy situations. Enemy team is just not really having a good time. But I should be able to clean up here. So if in this situation, let me just show you. I would do R here into Q, into E, to another Q, into another R, into death. But that's like their general combo on her. And like I said, Eclipse, this is when you go the Warhammer before the Whisper. I like to go Warhammer. This, when you're playing against a squishier comp, I recommend either, this or this one for your second component. Eclipse, obviously more generic. It'll just give you a lot of damage. I actually just think, the buffs to Grudge is really strong. I think it's a really good item now. It's 35% armor pen instead of 30. So it's really good. It feels really nice to build. And it just lets you do a lot of damage to squishies. And also the slowing effect of it is really strong. This is a short video on Naafiri. I just want you guys to get a little intro on her. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to like, subscribe. If you haven't already, good luck on the Naafiri climb. I'm going to make a lot of videos for her. So good luck on the game. Good luck on the climb. And I'll see you guys next time.